Hello everyone, welcome back to Celeste, Lunar Ruins. We are now entering the core of the moon. The music is getting intense and we have double dash and it refreshes when we touch the ground, which is pretty cool. Managed to get through here first try, nice. Man, the music is wild. So what we got here, can we super? Nope. Something like that. And then we have another dash. I like it. And then we have two more dashes. I don't know if an instant hyper will work there, but I also don't know how to keep the dash up till there. So we'll just go. So you guys remember last episode when there was a very loud noise and I said a bird had smacked into my window? Yeah, once I stopped playing, I realized that that smack was actually really, really hard because there is a trickle of blood that is now dried on the outside of my window. Yeah. That was one painful strike. So I think we want to grab that and wall bounce off of this wall. But not by using a dash. Nope, nope, gotta get the wave. Man, this music is going hard. Maybe I want to super instead of hyper. Or maybe I just want to. That's the ticket. But it does look like. Yeah, it does look like I need to have my dash here. Can I jump off and get a hyper? A wave? That might be possible. Just gotta do it right. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's pretty crazy. Let's take a look. We have to... Yeah, it definitely looks like we need to get a super off of this one. Yeah, it looks like it's set up to get a reverse wave or a reverse super off of this block. But I don't imagine we can just dash. Oh, let me try it. Let me try it. Hell yeah. I didn't think that would work. Then we get another super off of there. Cool. Man, this map is challenging me in new ways. I like it. So super off of there, dash up, get a wall bounce, we're going around, and then we grab onto this probably, or maybe just bounce off of its top. Then we do a couple dashes here, land over here with both our dashes, do some neutrals, climb, jump, wall bounce, grab this, go underneath it, dash through, grab the crystal, wall bounce, and use our dashes to get across. I got it. Oh, maybe we want a diagonal in that spot. Yeah, okay. Yep. Got it. It's just the feeling of this map. You know, we gotta maneuver yourself and get supers, and I've talked about that before. So a diagonal there. Man, the music is really hyping me up. I love a lot of the music the Celeste community creates. Oh, not quite. I went a little faster than I expected it to be. Okay. So we have an extra dash there. Maybe up diagonal to be above it. That would do it, I think. Yeah, this kind of music does make me feel, it feels like video game music, you know, with pixelated graphics or early poly graphics. I've said this in one of my other Celeste playthroughs, but I love the music of like Nintendo 64 games like Bomberman and Mario 64 and Snowboard Kids, because they just have this kind of like magical transport you into an awesome video game cartoonish world vibe. And I love art that makes you feel like it's transporting you into a world where the rules are just a bit different from ours. Just a bit different from real life. Where the fabric of reality has a bit more meaning and there's beauty and great things hidden beneath the veil of the surface of the universe. You know, I think that's really what drew me to video games and books and comic books and movies as a kid, and what I still strive to feel as an adult and achieve. Maybe I should just grab it and climb up. Achieve with the stories and art that I create. And also, you know, when striving for things in real life, I strive to see the meaning and significance in things as well. You know, I'm always looking for that sense that there's something just beyond the veil of reality that is powerful and meaningful and good. You know, to some degree, I think of myself as having a spiritual mind, or like a naturally religious mind, even though I don't follow any specific religion. And the reason for that is because I'm just not much of a follower when it comes to beliefs and stuff. I like to think of my own beliefs and search for meaning in my own way, rather than accept what some authority has told me. But yeah, I guess that's the kind of thing that this type of music and this type of gameplay gets me thinking about. I have always been one to look for the meaning of life. And video games and the arts of all types, particularly storytelling of its various forms, I need to get a better way to do that, are the places where I personally find the meaning of life and the purpose of all things. I can do it. I can do it. Just gotta figure out that part. Alright, let's try the save states. There we go. Nope. 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 I guess I could do that. Yeah. Okay, get a diagonal there. We want a wave. There we are. So that was one of the reasons why I love Deltarune Chapter 4 so much, is because it's in a church, and it hits the intersection of religion and fantasy that I have always found so strong and powerful emotionally. Yeah, I think of religion as an attempt to find the higher goods, the higher values of existence. And I don't think any specific religion has gotten it completely right. They've all kind of, well, most of them, not going to say things about like Scientology and such, but many, if not most of them, particularly the major ones, have definitely made some progress. You know, we can think of negative things about religions, about how particularly in some modern societies and older societies as well, you know, traditions and stuff, how they don't have space for queer people, trans people, etc. You know, don't want to talk about religion as a whole, but like, you know, there's definitely parts of it that are like that. There are also definitely parts of it that are very welcoming and inclusive. So I don't want to minimize that either. Where am I going with this? Alright, I don't think I need to save state here anymore. So yeah, if you think about like what, oh goodness, that's a failure save state. All right, no more save state there. We're almost there though, right? I don't know if we need that save state. Like if you think about the basic layer of reality, the basic world that without culture and institutions we find ourselves in, it's rough. Like there's a big world that does not care out there that would happily eat us and take advantage of us, etc. And so our institutions, our communities and religions and governments and companies and all the things that we create, we're doing that, you know, one of the reasons we do that, I should say, is to make life safe, to make warm homes and good meals and studying philosophy and math and art and playing sports possible without having to worry about, you know, the person next door is going to stab us to death. And organized religions I see as one of the ways that we as a species and as a society have tried to find goodness and meaning in existence. And in some ways they did really well, and in other ways they're just the beginning. And I think it's a mistake if we see our religions as the end, the ultimate truth. That's when they can lead to prejudice and blind spot and inquisitions and all the cruelties that religions can bring about. And fundamentalism, of course, is the worst of all that, closing people's minds to growth and talking about like defending beliefs and all that stuff. So for myself, I consider myself to be a spiritual / religious person just naturally by how my brain and emotions are structured, because meaning of life stuff just feels awesome to me and I want to think about it more. That's what I go to video games and books, etc. for. You know, that's why I love indie games as opposed to like AAA games, because the indie games are the ones where the creators are not necessarily going to it for the money. They're going to it for the art and what can be found through the art. Of course, not always, but there are exceptions both ways, which is why I still play official Nintendo Zelda games. But yeah, I think that the arts are another, like, a way to go beyond what religion has done in some ways. And I also think that the universe and reality are so much bigger and crazier than any of us comprehend. And there's always more to learn, always new perspectives. Yeah, so one of the subjects that one of the things that obsesses me with the stories that I write, I think I might have said this last time, is going beyond science and beyond the paradigms of today. You know, what happens with an extremely advanced species, like 1 billion years in the future? How do they, what happens if they evolve beyond language? Like, language is just the small, imperfect means of communication that they use to communicate to us, just like we use rewards and punishments to communicate with animals in mazes, right? Like, we have rats in mazes, and some of the ways lead to electrical zaps, and some of the ways lead to food. And that's how we communicate with rats. That's the terrible example. Okay, let's talk about pets. When dogs do what we like, we give them treats. And when dogs don't do what we like, I don't know. How do you discipline your dog? I don't know. I don't have a dog. You call it bad dog. And that's the way we communicate with dogs. Well, what if billion-year creatures, billion years of evolution, see us and language as the same way? It's the lower form of communication that they use to communicate with us lower forms of life. And then what forms of communication would they use instead? Yeah, I did it! Alright, we got a nice long one. I think we just go for it. Go for it with save states. I got the beginning. I know the beginning. So one thing that I think of when I think of billion-year advanced life forms is the complete control of matter. You know, presumably technologically, or yeah, through understanding and technology, they are able to transform any kind of matter into any other kind of matter. You know, within reason. They're not doing alchemy. But I got this. This room is going to be so fun when I do it right. But like, their technology, like they can modify their own bodies and minds, right? So that they can put like little receivers in their brains. And by little receivers, I mean like networks of nanites, you know, so there's like billions of these things. It's like a second brain made of technology inside your brain. And then these things are connected with the technology outside their brains, or even reshaping their entire brain structure in the first place. That's not the way I wanted to go first. Or restructuring their entire body. Like, what if instead of having a body, you were a spaceship? Right? And then you had mental command over the functions of the spaceship, just like you currently have mental command over your muscles and the way your body moves. Right? You just be able to make your passengers a cup of coffee just by thinking about it. Or, you know, in one of the books I want to write, there is a being so advanced and developed that they have, that their brain, essentially, is the size of the entire solar system. You know, what would it be like to be that thing? Well, their thoughts could not reach from one side to the other for hours because of the speed of light. Okay, we just gotta go to that platform. I gotta take a look. And so how would that thing talk to somebody? Well, it would like create a small brain that would think at normal human speeds, and then it would the other side of it would not know what it said until like an hour later. And so what would it be like to be that consciousness? It would be pretty weird, that's for sure. So we want to use our dashes to get a reverse super off there, and then presumably grab this thing and climb jump up it so we can wall bounce here and then get a super off there and then wall bounce and go through there. And then we land, no, we probably grab the crumble block so that we can get a wave off it or something. And we grab this as it's going up. All right, cool. Okay, now it's time for save states. This room is long enough to be worth it. That might have been a bad one. Okay, don't save state there. Wait till getting over the spinners. No, I don't want to dash. Hold jump. Alright. Okay, let's get some climb jumps. That's better. Yeah. Speaking of cool stuff, do you ever feel small when you look up at the stars or at the moon or through a telescope? That was a mistake. Save state ruined. Because I used to love looking up at the stars, and I never felt small. I was like, the stars are big, space is big, but I'm me. I'm normal size. And then thinking about, you know, atoms and molecules, I'm like, it's not like, oh, I'm big and so big. It's like, no, these things are small. It's like, for me, it makes perfect sense that I am the measure of what counts as big and what counts as small. I don't think let's just... Oh. Here we go. I think? Did it twice, maybe? There we go. Now how do we get this ending? Can we jump through, or do we have to dash through? It's like, it's a stereotype, right? That someone sees space and they're like, oh, I'm so small and insignificant. For me, it's like, no, I'm still me. I don't get it. Is this, I wonder if we have to do some kind of fancy thing, like, there we go. That's it. Haha. I mean, I love space. I mean, there was a time, so when I was a kid, my grandpa had a telescope. And once or twice, he took me and the rest of my visiting family out on a clear night, and we just looked at stuff through the telescope. And there was a moment, like, he pointed at the different planets. I saw Saturn with the rings around it. I was like, all right, a little ball with rings around it. That's cool. I was honestly kind of disappointed because I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to feel like super awesome and this is crazy. Saw Jupiter, I think. Yeah. But like, you know, you hear like Neil deGrasse Tyson tell his story about how he first looked through a telescope and he saw Saturn and he was just filled with the wonder of the universe. And I'm like, yeah, I did that too. I felt nothing. It was cool. It was a planet with rings. It was a ball with rings. Awesome, I guess. I should say, I have felt the awesomeness of the universe just frickin' looking up in the sky and seeing the moon. Right? Because for me, and the way that I explain it is like I look up and I'm like, okay, that's another world. It's currently dead, but it's basically a second planet. There could be one day people living on that in cities and countries. And that was cool and awe-inspiring to me. I don't know. I guess Saturn just didn't do it for me. There is something about recognizing something as real within reality around you, rather than just the idea of something, the reality of it. So like we could talk about the moon, and you could even look at the moon while we're talking about it and feel nothing. It's like, oh yeah, I know, the moon is there, it's familiar. Or there could just come a time when you see it and you're overcome and you're like, oh, yeah, how have I never seen it like that before? And that's the kind of moment that I'm talking about. And I've had that with a lot of stuff, honestly. I've had that walking down the sidewalk of the city I live and realizing that everything around me has been built by humans for humans using human systems, and lots of people working together over many years. Like, I don't know how old my city is. I live in the US, so none of our cities are over 100 are over 300. But, you know, it could be hundreds of years. It could have been hundreds of years that this city has been in development. And it was, you know, the sidewalk I'm on, the grass around it, the street, the sewers underneath, the buildings all around, the cars, the street lights, and the wires connecting them. All that stuff was built by humans for humans. And it's just completely awe-inspiring. And then on other days, you're walking down the street and you're just walking down a street like you have 100,000 times before. So it just goes to show that it's not just the thing that is awesome, it's how you're receiving it. It's about you and how you're receiving it and recognizing your relationship to it. That's what I really think the meaning of life is about. It's about winning at Celeste! No, it's about not only knowing things, but in perceiving how it relates to you and how you and it are a part of something together. So I guess with Celeste and video games, it's in recognizing how you and I are part of something together by our appreciation of this awesome game, and with the developer, and with the game itself. That's the meaning of Celeste. And with the modder as well. I have not been looking at any of this. So, we're gonna go over this. There we go. I think. Can I just... Okay, that works. Oh. It catches you. You must have faith. Or you must have experimentation, and then you know that it goes there. There is an element of faith, though. Faith in the mod designer. That whatever this is, it's designed to be winnable. That's one thing that I appreciate real developers, real creators over AI. Even like procedural generated puzzles versus human generated puzzles. Is that if I'm playing a puzzle game that's created by a human, I know a human created all these puzzles, and it's meant to be solvable by humans. And so that oftentimes, if I feel stuck on a puzzle, I remember that and I'm like, okay, this is meant to be solved by me because it was built by people like me. Man, this part is I'm really struggling with. There we go. We want to fall down it a little bit, I think. Whereas with a procedurally generated puzzle, you know, even before AI was a big buzzword, with a procedurally generated puzzle, you don't have that guarantee. You know it's logically possible, but it's not necessarily it's not designed to be solved by humans. It's designed to be logically possible, and there is a difference. I'm gonna have trouble with that. Alright, there we go. That's what I meant to do. That is tough. Let's hold down a little farther. Maybe I want to use 2 dashes for that. Okay, don't bounce on top. Grab it. Alright, 2 dashes. Stop, 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 stop. Wait. Okay, almost got it. I assume this is... Oh. Can I get to that without a dash? Remember, it's made by humans for humans. Well, I'm sure some... There we go. Now how am I supposed to do that? There's no way I can get to here with 1 dash, right? Okay, that works. Okay, that's way easier. I wonder if I can land here. No, it doesn't look like it. So I did land on that a moment ago, you saw. Okay, so I should do another save state like right there. Alright, I don't think I can get over this finger of spinners without using a dash. Well, maybe I can. There we go. That's how it's done. It's crazy. No secrets up here, by the way. Was I in the middle of saying anything, or did I finish? Say all kinds of weird philosophical stuff. So I need to get very, very close to these spinners. I wonder if there's a consistent way to do this. I mean, like a way that's easy and consistent. Okay, so it looks like if I do it right, I don't need to fast fall. I need to, it looks like I need to go across that platform. Yeah, I can get that. There we are. Ha! Oh. Yeah, so for here, if I jump immediately and I just tap jump and... Or I don't have to jump immediately, I have to make sure to trigger. Because, look, it takes some time, but if you jump, it falls immediately. So I need to trigger it, then tiny jump just past the spinners, then maneuver back. There we go. That'll do it. Save that state. There we go. That makes sense. So I have to hold jump out of this state. I see it. I see it. No. And then a quick jump after that. Probably not a wave. No. There we go. Then we want to neutral around it. That's it. Oh, not quite. Stick this diagonal. Oh, oh. I don't know, I might have save stated badly. I should have climb jumped, I guess. Oh, there we go. Huh? I think that's what I gotta do. So I need to wait a little bit, because if I go super fast, I'm bonking my head above. And if you bonk your head, you don't get as much speed. The question is, with this last crystal, do I want to go above or below? Like up there. I don't think I want to go above, because that seems like kind of crazy. But below also seems kind of crazy. Nope, there we go. Got it. There we go. And I do like to die once I get to the end once, and then clear the save, because if you clear the save before you die, you might end up going on to the next room. Alright, from the beginning. We can do this. You know. I do like the emotional storytelling, even though there's no text. Right, I forgot what to do there. Now I remember. The momentum of the platform moving toward the spinners is something I'm not used to. On the other hand, just having music and stuff, music and gameplay and visuals, there's not really a story here. It's kind of the implied imagined story of your mind. Because, like, is this a continuation of Celeste? Is it just vibes for playing a mod? Or is there meant to be a story being told right now? The music sounds very Metroid, like Norfair boss type of thing. Alright, I gotta remember that I can dash. I can jump earlier, and maybe if I jump earlier... Oh, I don't know, I gotta be high enough. The height is really a measure. I don't know what word to put there. A limiter. A hurdle, a something. This is a problem. There's always a word that is right. There's so many times when there's a word that's right for what I mean, and I cannot think of it. And I run into this a lot as a writer. I'm like, man, I know what this word is supposed to be. I know what it means. I just can't think of it. And sometimes I just gotta settle for a better word, because sometimes in English there just isn't a word that means perfectly what you want it to mean. And maybe if I go to the left of the platform it'll be easier. No. Now I have to do that while in the heat of running through the whole room, as opposed to straight off a save state. No! Well, no, there's another idea. When I bounce off of it, I'll get dashes back. So maybe I can bounce on top of it and use a dash. Maybe that's intended. Maybe. We could try it a few times. What I did before worked. Oh, that really works. Never mind. I'll be doing that from now on. If I ever... Oh, okay, I will need to do it again. Alright, maybe now is a time when I can pause and start editing. Because I don't really have anything to talk about right now. Although I could just keep flapping my lips and hope that something comes out. That has occasionally worked in the past. Yo! I'll be done with this room pretty soon. Very soon. And then I will be to another room. And it will go boom! Ow. And the music is so hype. Okay. I just gotta time my dashing back, I think. It seems. This happens a lot. It happened in Strawberry Jam. Basically, it just happens a lot. Many times. Where you do save states and you practice something and it works, and then you realize, maybe that's not the intended way to do it. Trying to think of any examples. Oh my goodness. I'm sure there were some in Solar Express. Yeah, I can't really think of any examples. Oh, well, one of them was in the non-Celeste. It was in Cypher Zero when, no spoilers, but that's a fairly good puzzle game, mouse puzzle game. One of the rules I just did not get for a long time, and I was like making up. I was like, okay, well, it's this, but in this case it's this, but it has an exception here. Where like in all puzzle games, and mostly in real life too, and sciences, it's almost never, it's like this, except in this circumstance, it's like that, but then there's this exception and that exception. There's almost always, unless it's intentionally designed differently from that, there's almost always a very simple way to understand it. You know, that's really the key to understanding science. It's the key to playing puzzle games and understanding science, is that if you're having to think of like rules with exceptions and it's like this or it's like that, there's probably a way to think of it that's super simple. A lot simpler. And so this rule that I was incorrect about, eventually I did get it and I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. I was like, I at that part at the end I was like, oh, I'm not there. I'm not set up right. I don't have the height and the distance. Like I say, that's one of the reasons why I chose to major in physics as opposed to another science, is because in physics, you basically have to memorize nothing. There's like almost only a little bit of stuff that you have to memorize, and then all of the rest just logically follows from there. And I think that's why people think of physics and math as being difficult, is because you have to think in a way that's different from other subjects. You know, in like English and stuff, in arts, you're feeling it. You feel your emotions, and that's how you learn it. With math, or with other sciences, there's like lots of tables, measurements. You look stuff up, you use equations. It's all about instructions and procedures. Now, of course, it's not all about that. Once you get to understand it, then it's a lot more like, oh, here's the logic, here's the reasoning, and, you know. But with physics, especially physics, there's like one rule that all of physics works by, and it's called the principle of least action. And it's very hard to explain, but the point is that there is one rule, and you can get like a couple differential equations from it. What is that? That means you can get a couple of pieces of puzzle that you can create a million puzzle pieces from each. And so it's all like, it all boils down to what are the coordinates of a system and what is its energy? What are the equations for these things? And then once you know that and you know what to do with them, you know all of physics, every subject, every single subject, thermodynamics, electricity, mechanics, rocket science. Okay, that's not a, that's a combination of stuff, but like orbital mechanics, it's all just the principle of least action and using its equations properly. So I joke that's why I majored in physics, is because I don't have to, I can know the smallest number of things and know everything. I don't have to memorize anything. I don't have to remember anything except the one thing. And from that, I can figure out everything. And then I don't have to memorize the conclusions because I can just figure it out again. Yeah. So physics, well, math, I suppose. Math is a puzzle game, and physics is the puzzle game of the universe. That's what I say sometimes. But you know, whatever you study, you really have to like it if you want to go all the way. Or if not all the way. That's not what I meant to say. But like, I went for a master's degree in physics and I enjoyed it. I love the material and it's all super fascinating to me. I like understanding how it works and the logic of how one thing leads to another. It's all super cool and fascinating to me. You ask me whether I want to teach physics, I'm like, hell yeah, this is awesome. This is so much fun. You ask me whether I want to teach chemistry, I'm like, oh, snooze fest, boring. I got this. I got it this time. Yeah! So yeah, it's amazing to me how different people are just interested in different stuff. And for me, it's like, I can't imagine why anyone would think chemistry is cool and physics is boring. But the chemistry people are like, oh, I can't imagine how anyone would think physics is cool and chemistry is boring. It's because you just, different people like different things and see different values in things. All right, nice and short, super easy. We don't even need to look. Okay. The question is, no. Question is, how is this worth anything? There we go, that's how it's worth something. We gotta get boosted too. Nope, I missed. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna do it. I need more of a boost. Need to be boosted harder. Let's try not diagonaling here. Never mind. Let's try, oh my goodness. Whoa! I'm having trouble getting the boost because the block slows down. I gotta just do this every time. Save that state just to save a little more time. Ah, I am not getting anywhere close. Maybe I'm not supposed to hit the... Maybe I'm not supposed to touch the top. Yeah, because I'm not getting over there. Maybe I'm supposed to land on it again. Maybe I'm supposed to... Yeah, maybe that's it. Supposed to get the boost here. And then get this crystal. Like that. There we go. Okay, that's not what you gotta do. Oh. Gotta do it right. Not too high, not too low. Just get right through. And there we go! I gotta be able to get underneath that and get to get the what is it called? Why can't a wall bounce? This is ridiculous. Can I can, but it's no good. I need the boost. And And then I need to hit that crystal as I'm wall bouncing. What if I go diagonal? Will that work? No, not that time. No, I don't think so. What if I wait so I don't hit the spinners above? That might be it. There we go. Ah! Gotta get the crystal. Gotta do it. Ah. I'm not sure what the intended thing is here. It's so hard to get over there. Maybe I'm supposed to... oh, it pops up immediately, doesn't it? Like, what if I'm supposed to bunny hop onto the... Huh. No. If I have to guess... If I have to guess, it is just jumping like this. It's not that. It's not that. How'd I do it before? Almost. There we go. Got it once. Really gotta find the right time to turn around. I mean, that's what the boot can do. Where's my... There it is. Oh, wall bounce. Nope. There we go. And then that's the end, right? So really, that part I'm struggling with is the tough part. I see what to do here. We want to grab the crystal, and then... And no, not a diagonal. The last one's got to be straight up. Like that. Okay, got it. Let's go! From the top. I forgot entirely what I was doing. Very close. Yeah, that's it. So, while we're trying to do this, let's talk about... I have no idea. Let's talk about clowns. Let's not. I don't want to. So what have I talked about that I'm interested in? I've talked about spirituality. I've talked about books and art and science fiction. I have talked about Celeste. I haven't talked about VTubers. It's not really something I want to talk about too much. I watch VTuber clips. They're fun and entertaining. They're like clowns on the internet. I like the independent ones in general. No surprise. I think in most media, which I don't remember if I talked about this, but like big companies are, I don't think I've talked about this. Yeah. Big entertainment companies are I think of as basically vampires. They cultivate they are out to make money. They're big companies. That's what big companies do. They get big because they make money. So they have strategies for making money. And with entertainment, those strategies are for getting fans, getting ordinary people to get into the fandom. And so there's all kinds of things like the worst of it is the gacha machine. The idea that you get happiness by putting money into a thing, and randomness comes out. It's like, well, gambling is illegal in Japan, unless it comes out of a gacha machine. And it like trains, and then advertisements and the consumerist culture is like, it trains kids for this idea that happiness comes from giving your money to sources of entertainment. And so it produces this culture of like, you know, you go on YouTube and there are ads everywhere. Ads for products, ads for games. Assuming you don't have an ad blocker, which you should. I did it! Yeah, definitely recommend using an ad blocker. Even though that means I earn less from you watching my stuff. Because me earning is not why I play video games. But yeah, there's so many advertisements that, and like, especially, I'm thinking back to when I was watching TV as a kid. How does this work? Oh, it's an Ultra. It's a chained Ultra. Haha. When I was watching TV as a kid, there were commercials every 10 minutes. And it was just a fun thing. And you hang out with other kids and they're repeating the songs and stuff that they've seen in commercials. And as a kid, you're like, oh yeah, this is just fun. We're just having fun. And then if you see it as an adult, you're like, oh, these companies are training kids to have their product in their mind so that they'll want to buy the product. I mean, that's what advertisement is, right? It is somebody wanting to sell something and make money. And is that what I gotta do? Do I have to dash down? It doesn't look wide enough to not dash down. And these Ultras, you have to have a bit of a high start. Yeah, you have to dash down, I think. Yeah, so, and companies know, especially entertainment companies, that if they encourage this attitude, that kids are going to grow up into adults that continue to, let me start again. Kids are going to grow up into adults, and there will be a culture of accepting advertisements, basically. I think I have to go under that thing. Because, like, if we look around, there's advertisements everywhere, and everyone's just like, oh yeah, that's how it is. Very rare does anyone question the fact that, like, oh wait, what if we had a culture that did not have billboards everywhere and commercials every 10 seconds, or 10 minutes? What if we had an internet that didn't have advertisements on the sidebars and in auto-playing videos and across the top and popping up in the middle of your article as you're reading it? And so many people just don't think about that because it's just so normal. It's crazy. What am I doing here? But yeah, that is called in the sociology soft power. It is when the big powers have gained enough control over the ordinary world around us that we don't think about it. We just accept that as normal and how it is. So like advertisements for McDonald's. Can I do that? Is that gonna work? Advertisements for McDonald's, advertisements for Apex Legends, advertisements for, you know, this, that, the other thing. It's just, yeah. We just see it as it's just the world. It's just normal how things are. When that's not true. It is that way because of people. Because of the entertainment vampires who want our money. And so they're... I know I'm dramatizing this, but I think of big entertainment companies as vampire farmers. They farm us for our money. They create the world, they shape the world around us so that we think giving money to them is normal, so that we crave the products that they create, and we think giving money to them is normal and ordinary and the way you're supposed to live. And that is consumerism in a nutshell. I don't know what to do there. I gotta save another state. Anyway, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I hope I haven't bored you to death or made you uncomfortable with the deep truths I espouse. Can I... Have I messed up? Is this a bad idea? Do I want to get the top one first? I think I want to get the top one first, make it fall, then make the bottom one fall, and jump over it. No, then I have to use a dash. Ah, there we go. Oop. There we go. That's probably how it is. Something like this. Let's go for the top of that spot. Like that. And then no more grabbing. Yeah! That's how it's done. So anyway, if you ever wonder why I call myself Indie Chris, that is kind of how I've felt about entertainment companies from the beginning of my channel, and it has not changed since then, because there's something beautiful and amazing and powerful and spiritual and religious about art, and big consumerist companies would rather fake that and put on the aesthetic of doing it than actually, and it's even in their interest to try to change our perceptions as if it is only fake, as if it is only entertainment and escapism, and none of that meaning of life stuff. And so the feeling that art can reveal the meaning of life is disappeared. It's treated as if it's fake, as if it's all escapism, as if it's all empty. And that all you want, as if all that you want is the fakeness, is the escapism, is the emptiness. And there isn't anything else to get. And so that is how the big companies farm their money from you as vampires. But of course, it is more complicated than that. I still like Nintendo. I still play Nintendo games, even though, especially recently, they are becoming more and more like that. There are some AAA games that I really appreciate. There are some AA games that I really appreciate. From Software, awesome. Dark Souls, one of the best experiences I've ever had, and I certainly plan to play the rest of the series, and possibly more of the other games by them. So it's all very complicated. No narrative is entirely true. And so if you like a game made by Sony, if you like Minecraft, if you like World of Warcraft or RuneScape, and that feels amazing to you and you get community from it and you get meaning from it, and that's real, that's valid. That's true. And that is perfectly fine, because it's all very complicated. I see, here we go. And I'm sure I lost a number of people listening to me talk about that, because a lot of people just don't want to hear it. They want to enjoy their video game and feel good about it. Sometimes talking about stuff like that can be sad, and sometimes it can make you mad, even mad at me. And you know what? That's okay. I'm playing these games to have fun. I appreciate the developer for putting that wall there, so that I don't have to get that wall bounce straight out of an Ultra, which many maps make you do. Let's see if I can do it. Oh, so close. Ultimately, the reason we all come to video games is to have fun, right? We come here because it's special to us. We come here because it matters, because it's meaningful. And whether that is Celeste, or mods, or... I forgot what to do there. Whether it's Celeste, or mods, or indie games, or AAA games, that reason is always there. Hopefully. You know, sometimes we get... on the other hand, sometimes we do get lost in chasing a feeling that's no longer there. And in those cases, that's particularly maddening, because it means the video games that we love so much aren't happy, aren't fun. I was even in that case, in that space for like last year, like all of last year. I've talked about being burnt out. God, I love the music in this. Yeah, like all of last year, ever since Keylocker, I was just thinking of, I want to get through the games quickly so that I can get to the next game. And then I start the next game and I'm like, okay, I want to get through it quickly so I can get to the next game. That's no way to play video games. That's no way to have fun and enjoy this art form. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm playing Celeste, and that's why I'm talking about all this stuff. Because this is what's fun, this is what matters to me, and this is linking together ideas for why it matters. Have you ever shown someone a soundtrack or a song from a video game that is like your favorite song and it's so awesome, you're like, yeah, listen to this, it's the best thing ever. And they listen to it and they're like, yeah, that's kind of cool, or they're like, no, I don't really get it. I have a theory. That's because I have a theory that the reason you love it so much is because of all the things associated with it in the video game. It's about what the game meant to you, what the story meant to you, what you were going through when you played it, and how the game helped you deal with it. And the other person doesn't have that association. And so, to you, this song brings back all those memories and all those feelings, even subconsciously, and you think, oh, this is the awesomest song ever! Whereas the other person, it doesn't bring back those things. And so, all they hear is the notes. Let's just go over here. It's not worth... It would look so cool. I've done it a few times. I can claim the coolness badge. I thank the creator for putting that there. Ah, I climbed too high. But yeah, my theory is that the reason why the things we love, the art, the stories, the video games we love them so much is because of what they mean to us. It's because of all the things associated with them. So as a story writer, it's important to me to think about all those symbols. I'm not just telling what happens, I am linking a bunch of symbols together. Oh, I tried to get a climb jump and then another jump. No more climbing after that. So for instance, one of the great things about Hollow Knight Silksong is the culture behind waiting for 10 years. You know, all of that time spent with those channels that are like Daily Silksong News, day 1482, no news. Just putting out a new video every day, even when there's nothing new to be said. And all the rumors about, oh, Xbox said Silksong will be available in 2022 or whenever it was. And then Team Cherry changing their profile picture to a slice of cake and all that came out of that. There's a culture that went into Hollow Knight Silksong. And that's one of the things, that's one of the symbols and associations that will be with that game, especially for this first generation of players. That's what this game means to them. It's something we waited for so many years for. And the developers were so mysterious about it. Whereas kids from 5 years from now, or people from 5 years from now who play Silksong for the first time, they'll be like, "Oh, okay, this is a good game." It's not going to mean exactly the same thing to them as it does to us. And if you're watching this 5 years from now, and you're one of those people, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're like, "Oh yeah, that was a good game, maybe even a great game." But there's something about there's something you're missing about not being here for those 10 years, those 9 years, however long, when it was in development and Team Cherry was silent and just waiting and hoping for a peep from the development team. I blame the music. The music is getting me so hype. I'm talking about all this stuff. Ah! Getting up there is tough. Extra tough. Alright, I have to get off soon because I'm going to be busy. I guess I have half an hour. That's probably plenty of time. Maybe get to the next checkpoint. Guys, this music is insane. And now for me, this music is always going to be linked to the meaning of life and why I love indie games. And why I love stories. Just because I spent all that time talking about it. Now I'm just appreciating it. It feels awesome to be here. And I guess there's one thing I'm a little sad about is that this music doesn't have an emotional story arc to go with it. It's not like we have overcome our inner demons and we're saving the world. We are just kind of in a Celeste map. And that's the context of this room and this music. That was one of the reasons I think Keylocker didn't do it for me as a story. It's got all the aesthetics. So Keylocker, turn-based cyberpunk RPG. Amazing battle system, amazing art, amazing prose. What I mean by that is like the character dialogues are awesome. Amazing music. Like music that gets me going as much as this song does. but the narrative, the story, the big picture of the story just doesn't do it for me. And there are a number of reasons, and I think those reasons are well, I don't want to say anything bad about the developers. The reason is that it just doesn't have continuity of narrative. It doesn't feel like there's a reason for this stuff to be happening. Oh, got a little farther. How much is left? One of the major things that bothered me about Keylocker, actually there's a whole lot left. A whole lot of room left. Wait, no, I've been through this part, yeah. Yeah, then we... Okay, it's not actually that much. Oh, where am I? Yeah. There's multiple endings, but it's not based... And it's based on player choice, but it's not based on player agency. It's about trying something and seeing what you get, and then trying the other thing on your next playthrough. Like, there's literally one choice where do you take the right door or the left door? And there's no difference between them. And what you see on the other side is a prophecy for how your route is going to end. And it's like, what? I didn't make this choice. I can't be responsible for this. But at the same time, the story is very much like, yeah, you are responsible for the ending you get, but there was no agency. It's just, you can't know before you make the choice. Or another choice is you're talking to a character and it's a very hypothetical, it's like a hypothetical question. It's like, if you had to leave one of your friends behind, who would it be? And you're not actually choosing to leave one of your friends behind. It's a hypothetical. This is an environment where your decision should have no effects, yet still it does affect the ending. And so I think they're going for some kind of like jinxing or manifesting type of reasoning, but it's extremely unclear what it is. Because, like, if you were... So what I really love about routes and multiple endings is the Mist formula, the Cyan Worlds formula, where the whole game, if you're paying attention, you can understand the culture and the science and the technology and how things are working and what happened up until now. And that information, that knowledge, helps you to make the decisions that get you the good ending. So there's no guessing, there's no having to try again. I mean, you might get the bad ending without realizing it, but the clues were there. If you're paying attention to the clues and you put them together, you can always get the good ending in a Cyan game your first try. And that's what I love about games with multiple endings, is that if you pay attention and you understand what's going on, you can get the best ending your first try. Keylocker? No. There is no way to understand what's going on and get the first ending your first try, because all of the decisions you have to make in ignorance. Complete ignorance. I mean, there's one where it's like, do you trust this guy or do you trust the other guy? And I think I made the right decision, because, like, one guy was being like, oh, you have to trust me because you've always trusted me and I've always led you right. And the other guy's like, I have evidence. This is what I've been doing and why I've been doing it. And so I chose the guy with the evidence. But other than that, it's just like, it's basically, do you pick the right door or the left door? I'm like, I don't want the fate of my world to depend on that kind of choice. Let me know what's behind the doors, then I will choose the doors. Or give me clues, let me figure out what's behind the doors. Then that will be a good game-defining decision. But yeah, the reason why I'm so upset about that is because the art and the music of that game and the gameplay, the battle system, are all so good. I wanted it so bad to be a masterpiece. But there's just this one part that the development team just doesn't get, which is player agency. Not just player agency, but like meaningful consequences. So there's another time, it's a scripted event, where instead of, I don't want to spoil it, but basically like there is a clear and present cause and effect reason for why something would happen, why the main character would have a reputation in the next place they visit. And despite that, they have you rescue a genie, which has the ability to grant any wish, who twists the wish and changes the story. So now you're in this place and your perception, your social perception, has been caused not by your actions, but by an all-powerful genie. It's like, okay, well, everything in the story that happened up until now might as well not have happened because it didn't affect anything. You just changed everything with the Deus Ex Machina. So, yeah, player agency, character agency, and cause and effect. Munana Games just doesn't understand. Which is very sad, because otherwise their games are super awesome. So that's one reason why I am playing Lunar Ruins before Darkmoon Ruins. You know, everybody wants me to play Darkmoon Ruins, and I agree, it's probably super awesome. However, Darkmoon Ruins was inspired by this game, by Lunar Ruins, and I feel like if I don't play Lunar Ruins first, then I won't fully appreciate everything Darkmoon Ruins is supposed to be. So that's why it's important to me to play Lunar Ruins first, because then I have that context that all of the rest of you have as well, as for why Darkmoon Ruins is so awesome. I did it! Yeah! Oh man, the music is so hype. Oh, there's more. There's more! But I think this is probably where I want to end it for today. Unless it turns out that this is the very last room. In which case, probably tack this on to the end of the episode. But I have no idea how long this is going to be. So, this might be the end. Hello everyone, I'm back in Celeste. This may or may not be the beginning of a new episode, depending on how much is left. I don't know whether this is the final room. This could be the end of the chapter, for all I know. Or it could go on for another few hours, in which case, there'll be another episode. But notably, we did not get a checkpoint after last time. Or after, you know, if it's the same video. But yeah, that's not what we want to do, or maybe it is. Let's see if we can. Oh, we also do have double dash. So we can do some pretty cool stuff like that. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Man, it has been a while since I played Celeste. We have another dash, don't we? Oh, we also have more stuff we can do. I am playing, what, 4 games all at once? Only 3 of which are going on. No, I'm apparently playing 5 games all at once. Oh, no. Loophole's done. So I am playing 4 games at once, and 2 of them have not started going up yet. Come on, I can do this. Oh man, the music is getting me again. Anyway, all that was to say that I haven't played Celeste in a while. Like a week maybe. I gotta do a short wave. That's what I'm thinking. I also haven't been playing every day. I've been playing like a new video every other day, even for my other games, just because I haven't really felt like playing. And earlier this year, before the burnout, before I realized I was burnout, I just would have kept playing anyway, forcing myself to play. Now I realize that I don't actually want to do that. If I don't want to play, then I'm like, okay, I don't have to play. I tried. I also fixed my, I reinstalled my microphone because it was starting to get crunchy. And when I tested it, it worked really well. It sounded really good again. Hopefully it does. Okay, we're gonna turn on the save states for this one. Going here and then doing that is pretty tough. Okay, we have to... Okay, diagonal seems... Yeah, we want to do a buffer dash. Ah, come on. Oh! Maybe we want to... Yeah, not do a minimum. Not do a minimal jump on that wave, but a medium jump on the wave. So we don't hit the spinners, but we're also not as low as we could be. Okay, I see. We gotta... Ooh. Jeez. Ah! That will probably work, but I probably want to get the good dash off of it. Oh, no, I have to land. Okay, let's try something else. Let's try getting a reverse wave. Reverse hyper. Okay, that'll probably work. If we want to do a diagonal. Haven't got a diagonal at all. The music is so good. The previous room, like the music, I think it plays through a loop once and then it gets stuck in a loop that's at the very end. But yeah, we got the intense part now. That might just be the part of the music that plays in this room. Yeah, let's do this. Oh, that's a wall bounce. What if we do this? Is it easier? Oh, and then another wall bounce up top. Yeah, I don't know if that's easier. I think we got to the part of the music that loops. Yeah. Alright, so this part of the music just plays over and over again for the rest of the time. Alright, alright. And then is that the end? It might have been the end up there. Da-na-na-na. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. You might have also noticed that now, when I talk, the game sound gets quieter. I figured out how to make that work. Oh. We're gonna do it. I want to practice from here. I mean, I could save state it again up higher, but there is just something to the flow of a Celeste level. You guys all know. It's pretty awesome. It just feels so good to chain moves together. I have come around to that way of thinking since Strawberry Jam. I can do it. I can do it. And the music certainly helps. Come on. I'm wall jumping, but I might be too late. Having trouble get the wall bounce. Ah, okay, yep, that's the end. Here we go. Back to the beginning. And I'm going to pause the recording to tell myself to edit. I don't know, I might be talking, I might not. We'll see. It's a big, long, difficult room, so I might just be playing a long time in silence as usual in these types of rooms. Yeah, did it. Not too much time. Hey, look, another room. All right, let's do it. Check it out. So we have to use that possibly in a bunny hop. Grab this. Possibly? Why do we want to grab this? I don't know. Maybe we don't. Maybe we just go past. We wall bounce. And then we get here and probably do a super dash up. Do maybe a wall bounce off of here. I don't know. This platform comes out. We get some platforms to fall and stuff. And I don't actually know what's going on here. So, hey, it's the end of the room. It kind of looks like there's more to the right. So, I don't know. It looks like when we get here, we're not going to be able to reach the heart. We have to use our dashes to get over these spinners. And then with that last crystal, we can reach the heart. In the save states, I am going to check to see if you can go to the right. All right, let's try it out. Oh. Right. Okay, that's just a falling brick. It means nothing. Just gotta get this wall bounce. That's what I thought. There we go. Cool. Cool, cool. Alright, I like this. I like this beginning. It feels good to play. Unless you do that. Guess I don't really have much to talk about today. Or more, rather, I'm probably just not in a talking mood. I am in a playing Celeste mood. I also forgot that I'm doing save states. Alright. Do I need to? I probably do. But let's try without dashing. Nope. No, we need to dash. And then I think we have to get our dash here. Okay, so we don't actually have to. No, that might work better. Or maybe not. There, that should work. Ah! It's more important to get to the block. Yeah, we have to get to the block fast enough. Then we can do that. Yeah. That one's going to be hard to get because it's not falling straight down. Huh. Really got to practice this. Yeah, got to find the right spot for that. If I make sure not to hold down right here, then I won't fast fall. That might help. Yeah, because I'm getting to this platform too low. Yeah, that's going to be a real challenge to get that wall bounce. I think. Maybe once I get it, it won't be too bad. This is the struggle right here. Ow. Oh no, just go fast. Is that a multi-ultra? Gotta remember to save my state when I'm past here. Gotta remember to dash only when I'm on top of the platform. There we go. It is a multi-ultra. And then I imagine we just want to keep our momentum for the next spot. Maybe? Maybe not? I don't know if getting another hyper is gonna help us with momentum though. I mean, we can't get another ultra. Some diagonals. I forgot we have diagonal dashes. There we are. Alright, we probably want to diagonal up into the next spot too. We just need the multi-ultra to get us over these spinners. Which is easier said than done. That was an awkward attempt at save stating. There we are. So do we want a diagonal here? Yes. This part shouldn't be too hard. Ashamed I didn't get my first try. My second try. We have to move so that we don't hit those on our diagonal. And probably buffer. Oh, that's actually really hard. I thought it was gonna be easy. Okay, there's nothing there. Good to know. So now we have learned the level. It's time to win. Yeah! I did it! Yeah! Alright. Well, that was chapter 1. I believe there are 3 chapters of Lunar Ruins. Nice picture. 5 hours, 16 minutes, 3 episodes. We'll see how long chapters 2 and 3 are. It's a fair number of deaths. And it goes and goes and goes. Okay, there we go. All right. Next is chapter 2, City on the Moon, which we will do next time. I am enjoying this. It's very bare bones. There's no story. There's some atmosphere. There's good music. It sets a mood, which is very fun to play Celeste in. That very last room, I struggled because of the wavy visual effects. I had trouble figuring out what was exactly the right height to super off of those platforms, but I managed to do it in not too much time. Alright, so that is going to be it for today. If you got this far and you liked the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Next time we will go into chapter 2, sitting on the moon. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you then. Bye!